this whole entire time, Mr. Jesse Moreno was following me on social media.
Yeah,
So,
I remember looking up and I was like, what the hell? We follow each other? Or at least I follow you.
They really
The
did.
glasses worked so good. Right. Here we go. The long awaited podcast coming out of Irvine, Lions Talk. We've been waiting for this for a while now, getting everything together. Sitting here with the world famous Liz Nutter from Refine Realty. So Liz, I've known Liz for a little while. It's been a while now, actually, not a little while, but a long while. And let me tell you a little story on how I met Liz, just in case
here we
of
go.
you people out there that don't know how I met Liz and Miss Gabby. Me and my brother Ralph, as you know, rest in peace, Ralph. We went to a Palooza, right, in Chino?
Yes, in Chino Hills.
And Chino Hills. And I saw these two ladies that were sitting right there. One of them was happy-go-lucky, Miss Gabby. And the other one was standoffish in the corner with their hat on, looking all fly and, you know, standoffish. And I told
I
Brother
was
Ralph,
not really. Maybe a little bit.
and I told Brother Ralph, I said, Brother Ralph, I said, you know, we're here to build relationships, so let's go over there and talk to some people. And here we go. We run into Liz and Gabby. And I said, no, she's not just going to stand there like that and get away with it. I gotta try to break that ice and break her down just a little bit like a boxer, soften up the body, and then go for the knockout. And I knew she had these dark glasses on, and I knew she was looking. And I had my glasses on, and I'm like, all right, so let's go. So we went, we talked, and she loosened up a little bit, and it turned into a great relationship. And now I can sit here and say that Liz is my day one, and she stuck with me for the rest of her life. So yeah, Liz, you remember that day?
You know what? I do. I really do. I was not standoffish. I was just cautious, you know.
Right.
But one of the things that day reminded me of is never judge a book by its cover. There's these two guys walking in. We're previewing brand new builds. They're both like, you know, walked in with their sunglasses on. And normally I have my sunglasses on.
Versace's, by the way. is what we had on.
Yes. I always have my sunglasses on. But I never really paid a whole lot of attention to like other people walking around with their sunglasses. So when I saw both of you guys, you know, with your heads up high, just like, you know, commanding the room, I'm like, who are these guys? The funny thing about it is that towards the end of that conversation, I remember us all trying to figure out, like, you know, what our hashtags were, our social
Right.
media stuff was. And
Right.
this whole entire time, Mr. Jesse Moreno was following me on social media.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
that's
didn't
true.
even
Huh?
know
I
it.
forgot about that.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
looking up and I was like, what the hell? We follow each other? Or at least I follow you, you know?
Yes, that is true. You followed me.
Right. And, you know, ever since then, I mean, we've been pretty close. And like I said, Liz is my day one. So I'm going to support her 100%. And I think you feel the same way with us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I really admire and I feel very blessed about is that Home First and all of you guys are so supportive in anything that us realtors do, whether it's individuals, whether it's offices from day one. You know, you, Brother Ralph, Alex, you know, you guys have always been very supportive in any ideas, anything that we ever needed. You know, you guys have been there, you know, from day one, you know, no questions asked, you know, how can we help? You know, how can we elevate your business?
Mm-hmm.
How can we help you get out there? And, you know, there's not a lot of people in this industry that are that way, you
Right.
know. On top of that, there's not a lot of people in this industry that are the same on social media than they are in person.
Right.
And this team is just, to me, it's home. because, you get what you see,
Right.
and that's amazing. It's amazing.
And me and Brother Ralph, we've always had that, that talk every time we walk into an event. We sit there and we say, all right, couple of things. We have to walk in feeling like we're the best in here, right? And we're never going to get caught up with the gossip, and we're never going to elaborate on what people say about each other, because in this industry, people will talk, and a lot of the times you can either elaborate on that talk or just look the other way and continue to stay as positive as possible, be a positive influence in the community. I received a text a while back before Brother Ralph passed, and it was from somebody in the industry that said, you know what, you guys never talk about people. There's no stories of you ever burning anybody. There's no stories of people ever trying to burn you guys, and you guys have always been positive. And I showed Brother Ralph that text, and he said the same thing. He's like, that's just what we do. We do that and stay positive as possible. But yeah, so that's been our story. Every time we walk into events, we do that. And as you know, when we started this journey, Brother Ralph and I, we said, what the hell are we going to do? What are we going to do? We said we could either look like everybody else or do something different. And I said, well, how about we just put on our glasses, and even if it's inside or outside, let's just put on our glasses and go for it. And guess what? The glasses worked.
They really did.
The glasses worked so good that
really
Brother
did.
Alex decided he was going to buy 5,000 pairs from China with the Home First logo on the side, and that's what we pass out. And you even passed them out too at events that we weren't able to go, but you passed them out.
Yes.
Yeah, and they work, right?
You know what? It's the signature, right? In this industry, I think just in life in general, you always have to have that niche. What makes you stand out above everyone and anybody, right? And for you too, it was the sunglasses. You know, like I said, I wear them. I wear them a lot of the times. I wear them inside the mall. My daughter sometimes gets all irritated with me, like, what's happening here? But there's nothing like you two walking into a room, just commanding, just by your presence, by your aura, and it's not even a sense of, I'm not saying it like you guys would walk into a room and like be cocky, right? It's just really the way that one carries themselves.
Of course.
And you two, like, it just fit. So I have so many pictures of all of us wearing sunglasses, of different ways and in different events and stuff. And it's pretty neat.
Speaking of pictures, that's what we do. We take pictures wherever we go. We record. Now I got, if you guys are not following X Level Studios, he's responsible. Mr. John, owner operator of X Level Studios, is in control of all the filming for Home First, the American Dream Team, and any podcast that we do. But when we would record and take pictures, I was looking the other day, and I have about 10,000 pictures over the last 3 years of just events. Good pictures and bad pictures, because I know with you, it's like we got to take pictures and we got to look at it over and over before we can post it.
Look, I don't care about how you guys look, as long as I'm cute. Like, that's all that matters. We could put all that aside.
Of course. So let's get into some market, not only updates, but just things that we've done. So, as you know, Liz is a broker, Refine Realty. We've helped many clients throughout the years, more so for Liz. If you didn't know, we push files through very quickly. There's no overlays. Everything's in-house. But a few of your clients we had where they couldn't prove their income.
Yes.
And what'd you do? You said, don't worry.
You know what? One in particular, we had this family that generally was in a position where they needed to sell. They needed to sell and move out of the area that they were currently living in. And I felt for a hot second that it was going to be very, very difficult because the income, right? The income verification part of it, the funds, just all of it that is required in order to have a loan go through, right? And I probably should have called you guys first before I went into that panic mode, because the moment I called you guys, it was like, okay, we got it. Don't worry about it.
Boom.
This is what we're doing. And it took less than 30 minutes to set up a plan, to get things in order, and it just set the tone for us to not only be able to put their property on the market, but be able to help them buy another property outside the area that they could now be able to cohabitat with their child, but still be separate. We were able to find them an extraordinary house, with the little mother-in-law's quarters that they can expand on.
Let's go.
And it was amazing. This family was so grateful, and it was a beautiful blessing to watch. And the teamwork, the communication, all of it was like everybody knew their role, but everybody knew to make sure that we were all involved so nobody skipped a beat.
That's right.
Whatever it is that any of us needed, we all made sure it got done, because we were talking about really moving outside the area. So making a 2-hour drive for home inspections, for appraisals, for all of that stuff, it really took all of us. And
Right.
you guys came, you guys came through and not only made sure that they got what they wanted, but you guys were involved in the entire process, which was
Yes.
amazing.
And I ended up throwing my hands up like Rocky.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I wore this shirt today. It says
kinda
Savage
did.
on there, because that's exactly what we try to be when we're out there. We try to be like savages, and we try to make things work for a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of agents. We actually are a correspondent for a lot of lenders that cannot get their deals through. What do? Call Home First, call American Dream Team. If anybody can get them through, it's us.
Yeah.
So that's what we do when we're out there. We don't look to, I used to work for this lender a long time ago. I won't say the name, but I used to work for this lender, and their underwriters used to say, we look for ways not to do the loan, because if we can do it, it's going to go through. But they look at ways of not to do the loan. With us here, we don't have that mentality. We say, bring it to us. Look at all your fallouts, bring them to us. We have everything here where you don't have to go nowhere. Private money, hard money, commercial, residential. We have loans that can go up to $10 million. As of 2 weeks ago, now we can go up to $10 million on certain loans. We got grants. We got help with closing costs. We have everything that you can think of. We're like a one-stop shop.
Yep.
And that's why people do call us to work with us. So, but yeah, Liz, it's been a very fun ride with you, and we have more to come.
We sure
We have
do.
more to come. So
We sure do.
now we're starting this new little venture here. We're gonna see what 2025 does for not only for Refine but for us as well. And we're just gonna
Absolutely.
kick those doors in, and we're gonna make things work. And we're gonna
Absolutely.
become a household name, and we're gonna brand any agent that wants help on social media. Come see me. Come see us. And we'll definitely help you with that social media. So what else, Liz? What else you got?
Yeah, you know what? That part is crucial, right? Because the industry's changing.
Yeah.
Our industry changes rapidly,
Right.
constantly. But I've been in the business for a really long time. I'm not going to age myself.
There you go.
But for quite a long time. So I've seen different avenues and different seasons of this business. And if we're not engaging on social media, if we're not generally branding ourselves to a completely
Social
different level,
media.
if we don't have people on our corner like John, it's not really going to get us anywhere.
Right.
Because now, back in the days, right, where you would call other sellers to get referrals, where you would have a resume when you went to a listing appointment, right? Now the first thing people do is look at your social media.
Right.
They don't necessarily look at your reviews. They look at your social media. They
Right.
look at what type of blueprint do you have out there, and it's beautiful to witness the vision that you and Brother Ralph had from the very beginning come to light, because the vision generally was to become a team and get the word out and make sure that we elevated and helped as many people as we possibly could.
Boom.
Whether you're a lender, whether you're a realtor,
Yes.
whatever it is, whether, you're a small office like I am, I'm a small brokerage of 5 women. 5 very powerful women that know everything from the lending side to the title side to the escrow side, and working as a team is amazing. So finding,
I have to work with 5 women.
yeah, he does. He really
Wow.
does.
It's kind of tough, but
I'm sure he likes it, but it's amazing. It really is, and we have to be open. We have to be open. We have to be willing, and we have to be raw.
there you go.
That's
Ooh,
it.
I like that. You got to be
We have
raw.
to be raw.
You got to be raw. And you know what? Social media is everything. Social media branding. And X Level Studios, they say that the camera puts on 10 pounds, but this guy at X Level Studios will take off 10 pounds. So he'll make you look very good. So if you're not following X Level Studios, you're missing the boat. Let's go.
That's true. That's very true, guys. So let's open and get ready for 2025 with an open mind, an
Yes.
open heart,
Yes.
and let's be raw and real, and let's get to work.
And then if you agents want to schedule your story, because this is all about storytelling, the art of storytelling, Lions Talk is unleashing entrepreneurs to tell their stories. If you come on this show, there is a bar right behind Liz. So if you feel uncomfortable and you need to drink something while you talk, the bar's open. Let's go.
Let's go.
So here we are, Lions Talk. So let's go over. I want to just share a little bit about Lions Talk again. What we're doing is we're bringing a platform to live. What me and Brother Ralph envisioned at one point, and that's for successful entrepreneurs to tell the story of how long they've been in the business, what they've accomplished, what they're going to do to stay in this market, because this market, if you put your head down and work, you're going to be good. If you bring your head up and listen to the chit chat and all the negative stuff that's out there, you're going to convince yourself that it just cannot be done. And for me, what I believe in is discipline. And I always say discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. You have to be disciplined to be motivated. You have to be disciplined to create a behavior. So with that said, we brought Lions Talk to live, and we want agents to come on and tell their story. So Liz, you told me a story a long time ago about why you decided to become a broker. And now you're going to tell your story on Lions Talk. So let's go.
I've been in this industry for a really long time. I started even before I got my real estate license. I got my real estate license because when my husband and I purchased our first home, our experience was awful. I spent a lot of time researching. I spent a lot of time reaching out to family members in the industry, trying to figure out the why. And in that process, I was like, if I can help one person, just one person, not experience the same thing I experience, then I'm winning. So I talked to my husband. I spoke to my mom and my dad, and they weren't very pleased with the fact that I was going to get out of the medical field and go into real estate. But it was just it was just eating at my heart, the frustration that somebody could do what they did to us. And, years later, as I move, not every office is for everyone, right?
Right.
There's some agents, there's some realtors out there that stay in the same office for years and years, but some for their entire
Right.
career.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. If you find a home that way, then, something great is happening. For me personally, my mentor at the time and I transitioned from office to office periodically, trying to find what we thought was the perfect place, right? The perfect place to call home. And there was always something that was happening, something that wasn't happening. We would get all of this hoo-ha of all of this great stuff that was going to be shared and given and taught. And then we would walk in there, and if we felt at the time that if we weren't bringing in $1 million deals, then there was no attention given to us.
Right.
So the last office I was at, I started to get a little bit frustrated with
Right.
because of all of those empty promises, what I at the time called empty promises. And I woke up one day and I said, you know what? Instead of complaining, instead of looking at all the negative, instead of
But you woke up one day with that mindset.
yes, I did.
Yeah.
It just took that quit niche, right? From
Right.
going from that moment of I could either sit on the sidelines and keep complaining or take action and
Right.
do something about it, right? So I went to my partner, Miss Gabby, one morning and I said, you know what, Miss Gabby?
Miss Gabby, who is a wonderful woman who keeps her grounded.
does.
Because
keeps me
trust me, this
grounded.
one is a loose cannon over here.
Sometimes I could be a little, I just have a lot of passion, okay? But it really is. I went in one day and I said, Miss Gabby, I'm going to study and I'm going to take my broker's exam and you and I are going to open up our own office. And she kind of looked at me quite shocked. And I went on my way. I studied. I got my license. And then I said, okay, Miss Gabby, let's go. And it took her like a week or two to kind of come to grips with the fact that this was happening. Like, this is what we were going to do, right? And I said, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to do this, and we're going to come together, and we're going to open this office. And it took us a few weeks to really find the name of what we wanted our office to be called, right? And
Refined
her and
Realty.
I were talking one day, and we're like, you know what? We're like, she kind of made a comment and said, we're like reborn, we're like new. And we're like sharpened. And we kept coming up with all these words, right? And then we both almost at the same time said, no, we're a little refined. We're a little refined.
I like that.
And that was it. That was
Double R.
it. Refined Realty came to life,
Yeah.
and we promised ourselves that our office would generally be a team environment, that whatever it is, that whatever kind of business it is that we brought to the office, that we would share it with the realtors around us, that we knew what we needed in order for us to succeed, and
Right.
we would share that with whomever wanted to be a part of our team, right? Because there is no right way and there's no set way to teach and to mentor and to elevate and support realtors. Each individual needs their own special way to be able to be successful in this industry. And if you don't, at least for us, we felt that if we didn't cater to each individual's needs, then we were not going to be successful.
Right, but you woke up that morning with the mindset that enough is enough.
Oh, yes.
Enough is enough, and it's time to get out there. And you know what? A lot of agents will sit there and not realize that they've outgrown themselves. They've outgrown their position, but they do nothing about it.
Yeah.
And they'll still sit there in a rut and then turn to the complaints on why they can't grow or progress. Well, how about trying to start over, finding your niche and finding that home that's going to make you elevate yourself and your game?
Yes.
And because remember, your circle of influence is important. If you have the wrong circle of
Amen.
influence, you're just not going to grow. And I'm going to tell you, because
That's
my
the
story is
truth.
almost like yours. I was at the same lender bank, I won't mention the name, like a robot for, let's see, I think about 17 years. And I covered the whole United States. But one day I woke up and I told Brother Ralph, I said, okay, it's time for me to go. Because he was telling me, like, look, Jesse, you got to go. It ain't going to work over there no more. And you know what? I got comfortable, and I said, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna try it. So this is what I did. I left, and 2020, I decided I'm gonna lose all this weight, and I'm either gonna sit there and continue gaining weight, or I'm gonna sit there and try to lose weight. So what I did is I went on Amazon, I bought all this equipment, put it in my garage, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. And I ran every single day for about maybe 9 months, 10 months. I ran every single day. I went on a 5 mile bike ride, and then I come home, I get on a treadmill, and then I would work out. 65 pounds is what I lost. Right, 65 pounds. It was a transformation that was never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be able to transform from someone that went to the doctor one day and the doctor said, yep, all your blood works in red, you're killing yourself. And I was like, oh man. And it broke me. So I decided to do something about it. And that's what I did. And so that was the start of a new beginning, because I said, if I could do that and start over with my health, I could start over in this industry. And that's what I did. And that's when I sat down and with Ralph and I said, look, what are we going to do? And he said, let's go meet Alex. I was like, okay, who's this Alex Kim guy? You know, I see him on TV. Well, it's almost like TV, social media. Who's this Alex Kim guy? At the time, we had the upstairs level. And we sat down with him, and I remember Brother Alex was sitting there, like, holding this, like, what is these guys going to bring to the table, right? And I said, okay, well, we can hit all these events and start going to all these events. And Ralph was going to events here and there, but then, I never really went to events because I was locked down at a lender that was an institution that it was their way or no way. You can't be on social media, can't do anything. So we went to an event, and I remember the first event, we said, Brother Ralph tells me, Jesse, take a picture. Take a picture with this person. I'm like, okay. And then what? And then what?
Yeah.
And he says,
Yes.
we're going to post it. And I was like,
And then what?
all right, I guess. So that's what I did. I posted a picture of someone from an escrow company. And, it turned out to be the start of a new beginning. And that journey, if you guys following us on social media, the Mortgage Line 824, go back all the way on whatever platform it's on, social media or Instagram or Facebook. You will see our journey of what we went through from the very beginning of hitting events and meeting people, shaking hands and kissing babies is what we call it. And that started the journey that has been so addicting to get out there and meet people and let them know who you are. And then there's times, Liz, that I meet people on Facebook or that are on my Facebook friends or Instagram, and they're like, oh yeah, we follow each other on Instagram. We do? Like, Brother Ralph was so good at recognizing people in the street that follow him on social media, and I had no clue, just like you. I had no clue I was following you.
Yes.
No clue at all. And then
Yes.
I meet you and we follow each other. I went to a little event on the weekend with John, and there was this guy who says, yeah, we follow each other on Instagram. I see you on Instagram. I'm like, okay, I didn't know that. But so that's me right there. I sometimes don't recognize the people that are sitting in the background actually watching what we do.
I think that right there is what's important, right?
Yeah.
Is always remembering that whether we see it or not, there's always someone watching, right?
Always.
So always carry yourself with the level with that level of integrity,
Absolutely.
and that level of respect, because no one is better and no one is bigger and nobody is higher than anyone else,
Right.
regardless of the cars that we drive or the clothes that we wear or the money we have in the bank. We're all human, and we all deserve to support one another at
Right.
a whole different level. And when you were talking about your health journey, I was told right before I made the decision to take my go on the journey of taking my broker's exam, I was told by my father, if you spend as much time on your business that you do on doing your hair, on taking care of yourself
See
physically,
that?
on taking care of yourself spiritually, do you know where you could go? Do you know where you could go?
Dropping nuggets.
And I feel that was the moment that fear was removed,
like that.
and action was taken because there was truth. There was truth to that, right? If we focus enough attention on the things that are important to us, that generally can change our lives and can help change others, then, we're winning, and there was no reason for me to sit in the sidelines anymore.
Right.
There's value to the vision that I have, and there was value to the teamwork and the partnership that Ms. Gabby and I have, that I wanted to share it with everyone. So
And the thing you always say too is dream work makes
the dream work.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and that's important. And so I did. I took that plunge, and when the day that I passed my test, Mr. Nutter, who has always been one of my biggest supporters, was there with me, and the first person I called was Miss Gabby, and I said, "Okay,
Let's
it's
go.
on. We're doing
It's
it."
on. I like that.
And we did. We took that plunge, and it has been amazing. What has been more amazing is the genuine, heartfelt, supportive people that we've met along the way.
Right.
This industry can be very cruel. There's a lot of lessons that have been learned in the last year. One of them is keep your circle small. And support those who support you.
Right. Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, your word is
Bond.
Yeah, it is.
The word is bond. And I remember a long time ago when we first started this journey, Liz and Gabby were actually part of our very first recording.
Yes.
At the 701. It was the most, at the time it looked good, but now when you go back and look at that video, it was done like very low, but man, it was a good video at the time. And we went to the 701. Remember that? We had the 701. We took pictures. We recorded. I personally saved the life of someone that was choking. You remember? I won't say her name.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We were sitting there.
Let's not forget that.
And she's big in the industry. And maybe when she comes on Lions Talk, we can talk about that. But she was sitting there. We're all eating. And she starts to choke, like literally choking, not like coughing choking, but she was choking. She could not breathe. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, what the hell's going on with this girl? Like, I didn't know what was going on. She's like trying to like get it out. And finally she got it out. But at the moment I was already getting up. But yeah, it was, that was a time that was a good time that we had that night. And there was somebody that we took pictures, and Brother Ralph, there was somebody that jumped in the picture that kind of photobombed the picture. And so Brother Ralph was like, oh man, this would have been a good picture, but that person had to jump in next to me and photobomb the picture. Oh, don't worry about it. So I just hit erase and it was gone. And Ralph was like, you made her disappear. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So then we posted the picture and he was all happy. So yeah, I remember that time. That was a good time. That was a great time that we had. But yeah, Miss Gabby and you have been along for the ride the whole time, and all I can tell you is I appreciate you and Miss Gabby, but you have been a very big part of my life with many conversations in regards to what can we do to grow, what can we do to elevate. So I'm looking forward to 2025 though.
Me
really
too.
am.
Me too. The vision and the passion that we are taking into 2025 is next level.
Right.
It's a vision of not just growth, but empowering. It's very powerful.
Right.
To know, imagine what one can do what one can do on their own is one thing.
Right.
But what we could do together
Of course.
is I mean, that brings a whole level of power.
Right.
Because it really it's not about competition.
Right.
And we believed in each other from the moment that we connected, and we've taken that to something extraordinary.
Right.
Look at us now. If Brother Ralph was here, he may be critiquing a few things that we probably are not doing to his standards.
Right.
But it would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. So for you real estate professionals, you entrepreneurs out there, remember, you're not only your own brand, you are your own company, and you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not investing in yourself, you're not taking risk, if you're scared, then that's going to stop you from doing a lot of things. Like you said, you showed no fear and you went for it. But guess what? If you were still scared, you probably wouldn't have done it. No. I probably would still be at the lender I was at, doing a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So you got to invest in yourself. You got to take the risk. You got to take the chance. You got to jump off that deep end, and you got to swim. Yeah. Because there's always going to be somebody there that's going to catch you. Like when we were putting this podcast room together, I was stressing out. And you were saying, hold on, just relax a little bit. So if you don't have anybody in your circle like a Liz that is going to catch you when they say, hey, go ahead and fall, I caught you. I got you. Same thing with her. Like if she falls, I'm going to catch her. If you don't have that dynamic duo, so to speak, that person that's in your circle of influence that you can depend on, then you got to keep looking for that person. Because you can do it on your own, you can, but it's always good to have a partner that thinks like you, believes in the same vision, and is willing to take it to the next level. And if you don't have that, then you're gonna come up short.
Yeah, and that's true. There's so many different ways we can do this business, right? There's so many different ways, but why not?
Right.
Why not do it together? Why
course.
not go to the top, as a whole instead of solo? There's just something much more rewarding when you take others with you than when you do it on your own.
Yes.
Right. And
yes.
hitting on the topic of investing in yourself. That's one of the things that we're generally doing this year. Not just investing in ourselves, but in investing in the team that entrusted us in holding their license with us.
That's right.
Right? Because you could tell realtors and you can educate them and you can give them support and you can give them training. Some of them need you to generally hold their hand.
Right.
Some of them generally need you to do certain things, and that's important, because if they don't grow and they don't succeed, then you don't succeed and you don't grow. Right. And I remember,
and you're only as good as the team around you.
And that's true.
Only as good as the team around you.
That's very true. And I remember the first broker that I held my license with was a female, and she would generally sit there and do cold calling with us, and she would write things down and tell us how to say things and when to do things, and different little things. She went with me on my first listing appointment, and then turned around and went with me on every single listing appointment until I felt that I was ready to go out on my own and do it on my own. She gave me that time. And she had a lot of other realtors that she had in a part of her team.
And you have an open door policy too.
Yes.
You don't leave no one behind.
It has nothing to do for me. I don't care whether you hold your license with me or not. You need my help, you need my guidance, you need support. I'm here.
Let's go.
I'm here. That's what it's about.
That's what I like.
It's not about just women empowering women. It's about us. It's about all of us empowering and supporting each other, because the business is always going to be there. Yeah. And there's enough, to go around for everyone. So there's no need to be greedy. There's no need to be ugly. We walk in faith, and we do everything from an open heart. And it works.
And I like
It
that about
works.
Refine Realty. You hold that again, that open door policy. You're going to help them for as long as it takes. At some point, you got to learn how to swim, though. You're not going to sit
True,
there and hold their
true.
hand, for 2 years if that's needed. But you will hold it enough to get them to the first base and then second base and then all the way home. And that's
Yes.
what I like about that. So, and that's what we do here. So, at Home First and the American Dream Team, we're all about winning as a team. We don't discuss losses because everybody has them, but we don't want to discuss them. But at the same time, we definitely want to share our wins and we want to share our opportunities that we have with anybody out there, and that's why we're such a good correspondent. Everybody knows, like,
Yes.
okay, let's go to those guys. They'll get them through. And the attitude is everything. As long as you have that attitude and you have that discipline, let's go. Like you're not gonna be left behind. So that's what we have here. That's why sometimes you see my post says no fallouts left behind, no one
Yeah.
left behind, no homeowner left behind, because we truly believe that. And that was all started at the top. Brother Alex has started this movement with the AM call, 5 o'clock in the morning. Get up every day, 7 days a week, whether it's a holiday or not, and we talk about what you're grateful for,
Yeah.
gratitude. You're on the call. So
Yes.
that's what we do.
Yes.
But aside from that, we have a lot of niche products here that are going to get people who think they can't get into a home.
Yes.
We're going to turn those lights on and we're going to say, now you're home. And that's what we do. So there you have it. This is our show, Lions Talk, where we unleash entrepreneurs. I want to thank Liz Nutter, for being on our show. And this is not only the first time you're going to be on here, because you are going to be on here many more times to come, and you're going to talk about the stuff that you've been through from now to the time you come back, which I know is going to be a lot. So, Liz, I want to tell you thank you for actually coming on this show and sharing your mind and your value.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse, for allowing me to be a part of this journey. And yes, we will be doing this periodically, to share how this industry is changing, how we can serve you, what we can help with, and, whatever else you guys want to hear about, whether it's in the lending side, in the real estate side, you guys want to figure out how to open up your own office, how we can help with education, whatever it is that you may want or need, we're here. We're here, so let's get to work and let's make 2025 amazing, guys.
Let's go. This is our very first podcast, Lions Talk. Our very first guest, Liz Nutter. And we're looking forward to bringing more entrepreneurs onto this show to unleash their mindset and tell
Amen.
you what you can do to be either a better broker, lender, whatever it takes. We have a lot of golden nuggets on this show. So stay tuned. There will be some bigger names here. Oh, one last thing, Liz, how can they reach you on social media?
Oh, wait a minute. It's First Lady Broker.
First Lady Broker on Instagram. There you go. And
There
I think
you
it's
go.
like that on or actually Facebook, I think it's under your name. But
Yes.
First Lady Broker.
Yes.
There you go. So if you haven't added her, add her now. She has a journey. It started already, but there's more to come. And if you don't know, I am the Mortgage Lion 824 on all platforms. And also, one last important ad for everybody. X Level Studios. Let's go.
That's right, guys. Take advantage of it. It's amazing. He's amazing.